Chris and Javier join us back on stage. Sorry, I think I was not on yet. Thank you, Ryan. Welcome back to the stage, Chris and Javier. All right, so just a few quick questions to sort of get us started and recap a bit of the really good information you guys went through. It was clear in all of your presentations that technology is a central theme across all of your really different takes on preventing fraud and including nuclear verdicts. So how has the rapid advancements in areas like AI that you discussed, telematics, real-time data processing fundamentally changed sort of the fight against freight fraud compared to just a few years ago? And I know it's rapidly changing, but just an example of something that you guys are doing that's rapidly advancing.
I'll take it. AI, in order to be useful, has to have good data, right? If you feed it bad data, you're going to get bad results. And so at our business, what we kind of focus on is, hey, where can we get good data vectors that we can then send to a variety of different algorithms or a variety of different AI agents, and what can we learn from those? And one area that we've deployed it internally on behalf of some of our partners is to really differentiate between first-party and third-party fraud. So a lot of times, unfortunately, somebody will be stealing from your company. It will be first-party fraud, but it's very easy for them to just say, oh, that wasn't me. My thing was stolen. It was somebody else's fault. And as a business, without having access to the data, you really don't have anything to challenge that assumption, right? There's the mystery missing person that did that. We deploy our AI agents to actually go analyze all of the data from that person who's making the claim and can pretty deterministically show whether or not it was third or first party.
Yeah, so for us, I think being able to grab data is one thing. We do take in a lot of data at GenLogs, but the most important thing is being able to capture that in a way that we can show to our users where it makes sense. And I think that's one of the things that we're seeing with these technological advancements that's allowing us to do that in a way that we wouldn't have been able to do maybe even 3, 4, 5 years ago.
And for us, I will tell you that we have a lot of data, a lot of information, but we haven't been doing, in my opinion, using that data in the past. Now we are being forced. We have to change. We have to evolve and use that. And we're implementing a lot of our projects that we have done in the last 2 years is being able to use that data to prevent fraud and also optimizing our onboarding process. And I think that's for us is the key is on stopping it on the front end and not onboarding bad characters. You cannot price a bad character high enough to make a return. So that's being our focus is bringing in good carriers that are referral from our current clients.
Thank you. Another thing that you really all sort of touched on, I know we talked about collaboration across factoring companies and how that enhances fraud prevention and emphasize I think you said the utilizing technology and partnerships is essential for security, right? Relay, you guys mentioned collaboration with law enforcement, industry alliance, sharing fraud data and best practices. So how are you in each of your respective companies facilitating collaboration within their specific domains? So what opportunities do you see for cross-industry collaboration? I think today is a great example of that and opportunities to do it. But beyond today, what role do you see collaboration? What opportunities for collaboration to work together to prevent fraud do you guys see?
I think we're seeing it almost daily at GenLogs. So obviously we built the platform for those carriers and 3PLs and brokers, but we're getting contacted by law enforcement almost daily. So we just had a situation about a week and a half ago in Wyoming where someone unfortunately lost their life from a hit and run accident. And all the local law enforcement had to go off of was a very grainy image of this 18-wheeler on the road. So we ran that through our optical camera recognition system, being able to extrapolate those logos. And within seconds, we were able to identify not only the company, but the unit and then notify law enforcement of that. So we're definitely creating a strong relationship with law enforcement and the like as we grow.
Our general view is, we talk a lot about proprietary data and whether or not certain things are. Our view is when it comes to fraud, that should never be proprietary data, right? If you know that there is a bad actor there, you are just doing a disservice to everybody. There's no benefit to kind of anybody in the room or anybody in the industry if you are keeping that data to yourself. And so if we ever flag something and we have the ability to share it with our partners, whether it's other carriers, other fleets, or our truck stop partners, we disseminate that data as fast as possible just to really be able to stop kind of whatever patterns they're seeing.
Yeah, sometimes we dismiss bad actors and we tell them, hey, we're not going to fund you anymore. And then you could tell that they just try to go to other different places to see if they find another home. And we're open, like we gave us a phone call and then we tell them, hey, this is what our experience looks like and buy everywhere kind of thing. But we're open to, we don't want someone just to take a client just to lose money. So we will be willing to share that. And I think with our conferences for the factoring side, like IFA, there's people that are more open to have that open, honest communication and share some of those situations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys all actually sort of highlighted some level of talking about evolving fraud tactics and how that necessitates ongoing adaptation for your businesses. You gave a few examples, I think each of you in your presentation of that. Can you just retouch on one of those examples of how you're evolving and how your product is evolving to continue to keep up with the increasingly sophisticated tactics going on by, I guess, the bad actors that we've heard about all day today?
Yeah, I can start. So for us, one of the things we noticed is that our camera recognition system was having difficulty being able to read or interpret things that someone had written. So in the example of car haulers, where you may have a dually that's running cars, sometimes, depending on what those drivers are doing, they may just write out their MC and DOT and then throw it on the back window of the dually. Our cameras had a hard time finding that. So what we did is we changed the system. We were able to go back, and now you can go onto our platform. We call it Deep Search, and you can type in. I could type in "wash me," for example, and I could show you a unit that had someone write or wash me with their finger on the back of the unit. So being able to see those nefarious actors, because I would say out of 10 of the last companies I've spoken to who have had loads stolen, when I run the MC of those companies that they believe stole their product, inevitably it's always someone who has a placard taped on the side of a truck with an MC or DOT. So that's how we're catching those guys.
Great example, thanks.
We have built several things. I mean, and this a lot of it is evolving just in the last 3 years. I mean, one of them will be the implementation of OCR technology to capture the documentations and extracting information from rate confirmations, bill of ladings, and comparing to other templates that we have. It is an ongoing process because, like I mentioned before, there's thousands of different brokers and forms. So we're capturing the ones with the biggest volume and identifying frauds prior to purchase, and also alerting the account executives. It's like, hey, take a closer look at this paperwork. So before they advance the client, they can take a closer look at the paperwork and call the broker. So that's using AI and data to determine the likelihood of the client to commit fraud based on changes of the volume or change of behavior. For example, if you have a client that is a short haul carrier operating in an area, and all of a sudden you're getting loads in the West Coast, that's going to create an alert.
Thanks.
It's unfortunate, but right, these criminals, they're not going to give up just because we block them on one area, regardless of what all we do here today. It's an ongoing battle. And so most of our systems are set up to kind of progressively get better. And so we will learn something new on about a monthly basis where we reapply that back to whatever our rules engines or agentic processes are that are flagging these different transactions.
Great, thank you. All right, so one last question to sort of wrap it up. Based on your experience, each of you, and solutions that you offer, what's the single most impactful step that a trucking company or a broker or those in our audience can take right now to significantly reduce their exposure to the types of fraud and operational risks that you each discussed today?
I can start. I think one of the things that was most surprising for me coming from the outside of the industry is that we give a lot of trust to people that take our hard-earned money and our goods. And so for me, I'm sure, Ryan, you're a great guy, but I would never give you $50K to walk across New York in a duffel bag, right? Without knowing everything I can about you. So it's shocking when I talk to someone and they say, yeah, my load's been stolen. I have no idea where it is. I'm like, okay, great. Give me every identifying characteristic you have on the vehicle and we'll find it. And they say, I got like a partial trailer number. And that to me is shocking. So I know it's hard to redo institutional processes that have really been around for years, but I think to the extent that you can, being able to get every single piece of information you can before you give someone money is the most crucial thing you can do. That way, if it goes missing, someone like us or the other tools that are on the market have more data to help you find that asset.
for us, it's being focuses on the front end. Like I mentioned before, you can underwrite character, and it's spending the time on the front end with a prospect, having those conversations, asking questions. Don't get too excited that you're making a sale. Make sure that you are following through background checks, credit, asking the right questions, because that's the first layer of security. And we turn down people if we don't have a good feeling about it. And we know times are tough, but we want business with the right people. We want partners for the long term. So we turn down a lot of people. I mean, they might be good, but we'd rather close the door on the front end. So that's a first layer of security that's the most important for us right now.
It's going to sound very self-serving, and I understand that. But if you can move off of analog processes and onto digital processes, right? In our world, that means moving off of a plastic card onto a digital transaction, but it really applies to anywhere in your business. With digital, you get access to more data, and that data are more things that you can, as a business, action on and gain insights from. So anytime you can make those decisions, just invest in the technology, and you'll overall do better in the long run.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Cool,
Thank you.